Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today we are going to cover the problem all leopards face. And these are the leopards in Era 2. That's the caveat for this one. This is Era 2 leopards, not so much Era 3 leopards. The leopards in Era 2 face a problem more so than any other tank in the game. This problem being they are so easily ammo racked. If you're a regular viewer of my live streams, you'll know that if I'm shooting an ATGM at a leopard, I am expecting to ammo rack it. I am expecting to see a huge explosion, its turret go flying, because this is what happens to leopards. This is what they are prone to have happen to them. You know, they are prone to being ammo racked, and when it doesn't happen, I'm actually disappointed. And when I'm playing the game, I will prioritize shooting an ATGM at a leopard over any other target, especially if it's a Leopard 1 or a Leopard 1A1, the premium. This is because they're easy damage for me, and it can be the easiest way to remove an enemy gun from the game. This does then beg the question, if you're someone who does like driving your Era 2 Leopards, what can you do to increase your survivability? In my opinion, there are three things that you need to have to increase your survivability. 1, map awareness. 2, self-awareness, which is basically self-awareness of your position on the map and the knowledge you have of your vehicle and the vehicles around you. And 3, a suitable playstyle. As someone, myself, who enjoys preying on unaware leopards, I know that their best defense is understanding what's happening around them, and this is called map awareness. A well-placed ATGM is the nemesis for pretty much every single leopard variant in Era 2. However, a viable kill shot for an ATGM that is, would ideally be an undetected launch of an ATGM. It needs certain conditions to be met before scoring a lethal hit. If you're in your Leopard, and for this example we'll just take Westfield as an example, there may be a vast open space on one of your flanks. It might be your right flank or your left flank. Whichever one it is, you're likely to be in a position where there's a large open space around you at some point in the game. That large open space has the potential to hide an ATGM vehicle, likely a light tank, or it could be one of the mediums or one of the heavies. Your best defense is to keep moving, and in all honesty, this is actually the best defense for every vehicle in the game, even if the enemy target, and even if the enemy that can see you isn't an ATGM vehicle, you want to keep moving regardless of what's around you. But if you're in an open space and an ATGM vehicle can see you, and you're in a Leopard, that's not an ideal position for you to be in. So you want to keep moving. You want to keep an eye on the minimap and make sure that you keep moving to a position of safety. Look at the minimap, see where your team is, and move to support them. If you're alone, practice what I would now call self-awareness. Observe the topography of the map around you and make a play that will keep you in cover as much as possible. Self-awareness also has a second component, and that is understand the vehicle you're driving and also the vehicles that you notice are killing you. Use the in-game module viewer to understand where your weak points are, and in this case we're talking about leopards. I am aware, as someone who shoots at leopards and prioritizes targeting leopards, I'm aware of where the ammo racks are on leopards, so I deliberately aim for them, especially if I'm firing an ATGM. The same knowledge can be used in reverse. If you know where your ammo racks are, you know what parts of your vehicle you need to protect as much as possible. Lastly, having a suitable playstyle is also key to keeping your survivability as high as possible. Remember, you're in a Leopard, you're not in an FV4211. You can't take a hit and expect it to bounce or not damage you in any way whatsoever. Leopards in the game, they are fast and they have very good guns. Their armor is terrible, and this is why they're they're so prone to getting ammo racks, because the protection is pretty poor. And this means that you have to account for this in your playstyle. The reason I say this is because, again, Leopards don't have any armor. They're very easily damaged, and especially when they're being hit by ATGMs. For me, when I'm playing in Era 2 and I'm in an ATGM vehicle like the M60A2 or the BMP1, the Sheridan, the BMP2, if I see a Leopard turret poking a ridgeline, I'll still shoot at it because I know the armor is, well, almost non-existent for an ATGM. The Leopard 1A5 can bounce ATGM rounds to the front of the turret. I've had that happen, but if you're in the Leopard 1, the A3, the A1, it's not viable for you to sit in a position with your turret poking a ridgeline, because you're going to get shot. And for someone like me, I will take that shot, but I can't say the same if I were to see, for example, an Enigma turret poking a ridgeline. If I see that turret poking, I'm not going to shoot it because I know I'm probably not going to damage. But like I said, if I see a Leopard turret poking, oh, absolutely, I'll take that shot because I know I'm going to do damage. And so what I've done there is I've described the problem that Leopards have. So here's my solution to that particular problem. A technique that is viable for Leopards is to rock backwards and forwards at the crest of a ridgeline or a peak. You have no armor, so what you want to do is, the only time you should peek that is if you know the enemy isn't loaded. And what you want to do is, just by peeking and pulling back, you want to trick the enemy into firing a shot that will likely miss. Once they've pulled the trigger and their shot has missed, you can peek, take your shot while they're reloading, and you can guarantee not getting shot in return by that one particular enemy, of course. The same approach can be taken when you're running with your team. Don't be the first to peek a corner and take enemy fire. Let a teammate go first, absorb the enemy fire, while the enemy is reloading, peek the corner and take your shot. In essence, the correct playstyle for any tank can be defined as a play approach that maximizes output damage potential while simultaneously minimizing incoming damage potential. This applies to all vehicle types, but this is especially critical to the Era 2 Leopards. They are ripe pickings for enemy vehicle, especially a vehicle that has ATGMs. So if you're a Leopard driver, stay hidden and return fire when the enemy is reloading. You know, that's, if you can do that, I can guarantee that the enemy will not hit you as often and you will not take damage as often. And I really want to stress this, because the number of times I've seen Leopards take damage, pull back, peek the same spot again and get hit by a second ATGM from me, I think to myself that you just can't do that in a Leopard. If you're in a 4-2-11, maybe you can get away with that, but you're not in a 4-2-11. You're in a Leopard, and Leopards really need to be played very, very differently. Okay folks, that's about all I have for this one. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, if not a dislike. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and as always, I hope you're all keeping well, and I will see you out there.